On to some college football and sad news for my co-host here.
It's not that sad.
You gotta be a little bummed out.
Yeah,
Stanford, Cal, SMU are all being added to the ACC starting next year. As a Pac-12 baby, grown up, or Pac-10, Pac-12.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
I guess I'm over the whole Pac-12 thing being done. That part was sad, but this part's kind of stupid. I just don't understand having all your away games going to be on the East Coast.
I do feel bad for the students in that aspect because Stanford's not one of those teams. People make jokes like, "Oh, how much schooling are they really doing?" And I'm sure, most kids in most colleges do their schooling.
Yeah.
But at Stanford, you have to.
Right.
Like you have to, make probably at least I'd say put 3.5, 3.8 to make the team. I don't really know exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of grades they hold like when you're there because I know it's not easy school necessarily.
Mm-hmm. But between worrying about schooling and on top of that doing these long flights over there, doesn't seem ideal.
My guess too is that they're gonna be obligated to bunch up their road trips, like at least 2 games at a time.
Yeah,
they go spend 2 weeks on the road or a week and a half on the road, which is not ideal to be away from school for that long, but you can do some Zoom class.
You have to.
Right.
It's the only way you can do it.
Yeah.
Or unless they bring like some kind of teachers with you, but they can't do that because all these kids have different classes, and they can't bring all the teachers or some kind of teacher for all these specific kids.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
No.
And they're not going to add more travel for more people and add more money to the cost.
They'll probably have counselor type people that travel with the team, I'd imagine, just to kind of help kids stay on schedule, But yeah, no, I think it's kind of dumb, and it just takes away the regional rivalry aspect of college football to me. But I know that's kind of gone by the wayside, anyways. There's a lot of conferences that are nationwide now.
It does seem dumb from that aspect of having to go over there, like I said. But I do think it could be kind of a breath of fresh air, a little bit.
I mean, it's going to keep their schedule strong or relatively strong.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to have to, go independent or anything like that. Excuse me. The only thing though for the ACC that I don't really understand is Stanford and Cal are not football powers right now.
No.
Like they haven't been. Neither of them have been good in a while.
No.
At least not in the last handful of years. So I don't really know what that adds for them, but they do have a prestigious name.
I was going to say prestige, probably, because they're borderline Ivy League schools. Or, I mean...
As far as academics go, they have a high prestige.
Stanford's probably a little higher than Cal,
but
they're both.
Cal's pretty high up there. Yeah. Cal's just... Cal's public, so that's the difference. Stanford's private,
What I think is cool about this is for you and Ashley could beef now.
Going down, bitch.
Pitt versus Stanford. That could be a good excuse if it could ever work to go out there and watch.
That's a good point.
Because I know she would probably do that, be down if the timing was right. She'd probably love to go back to her college town.
Yeah,
go to that stadium because they play where the Steelers play.
Yeah,
it's not called Heinz Field anymore, but it's called something else. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Or also be cool too because she lives in Santa Rosa, you live here. You guys can just go to Stanford and.
It is going to be interesting to see how they break down the schedule because this is an 18-team conference now.
Yeah.
So you're definitely not playing everybody every year.
No.
Not even close. You're playing like half the teams every year, So
you guys could beef every other year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I think that if I'm doing my math right, they're probably going to go to Pitt every 4 years, and then
they'll come.
They'll play them every other year, but they'll go to Pitt every 4 years. So see how it goes.
Speaking of the Pac-12, 10, 8, 4, whatever the hell it is, Colorado upset TCU 45-42.
Yeah, fun stuff.
As 21-point dogs.
Deion is just going viral right now.
Hey, is it a coincidence that they're 21-point dogs? Deion Sanders?
Hey, look at that.
21.
And they win.
I'm just saying.
His son's pretty damn good too, huh?
Yeah, Sanders.
Shadur, yeah.
Shadur Sanders. Sorry, I asked you before this, and Shadur Sanders.
Yeah.
38 for 47, 510 yards passing, which is a school record for Colorado.
Unbelievable.
4 touchdowns.
In his first Division I college football game. Against the team that went to the national championship game last year.
Just going to mention that. Talk about a bad couple games for TCU.
Yeah. And they hung that stupid banner.
I was going to ask you so what do you think? Real quick, your opinion. So people who don't know, TCU went to the championship game last year, as we all know. And I think for their first home game, or was this their first game
First game of the year, yeah.
They put a little banner. It's not really a banner.
It's not a big one, yeah.
It's kind of like a Ring of Honor type thing.
Yeah.
And it says College Football Playoff 2023. I could see why. I understand why it's dumb. Because it's like, you made the joke, showed the score also of that game.
I think that's what makes it bad from my perspective. But yeah.
I'm okay with it because that's probably the best TCU is ever going to do or get close to a national championship.
Yeah.
And that's probably the closest they've been in a long time.
They've had some good teams, but the playoff has only been around for not even 10 years. So
I'm okay with it because, to me, it's no different. I know it's a different sport. It's no different than when teams in college basketball do Final Four banners.
Yeah.
No one really cares about that. I think it's kind of cool. People, because they do that.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
If a team goes to the Final Four and they don't even make it to the championship game, they still will hang a Final Four banner, which I think people have done that, so people think it's a big thing.
Right.
So I'm okay with this in that regard.
Yeah.
But yes, they got smoked. And it doesn't help that they got beat by Colorado when they were 21-point favorites.
Yeah. It was not a good day. Yeah, and then the trolling over the banner, too. Fun stuff.
Because Nick was the one who brought this to my attention. I think he brought it to yours as well. And I said, at least it's not as bad as when UCF had their self-proclaimed national championships in, what was that, 2015, 2016?
Like that, yeah, and they went undefeated.
And they didn't win the national championship. They went undefeated.
Yeah.
And they went to, the Cotton Bowl or something like that?
Yeah, they beat, Auburn or something like that.
So they self-proclaimed themselves. That's worse than what TCU did yesterday.
I'll agree with that. But yeah, I don't know. I think if they had been competitive, I wouldn't even really think twice about it. Mm-hmm. But they just got absolutely shelled by Georgia last year, so
they did.
I think that makes it look a little funny.
Yeah. Going back to Colorado, Travis Hunter.
This guy's sick.
11 receptions, 119 yards, and also, yes, 1 interception because he played 130 total snaps because he played receiver in both receiver and corner.
Yeah. That pick he had was nice on the goal line, too. Kind of dove for it.
Okay, I think I saw that replay of that.
That was nice.
I was talking to your dad about this on the way to Topgolf, and he said there's no way this guy could do this every game. That's a lot. I mean, he's in peak physical condition, and he's young.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is sustainable for a full season. I hope Dion knows that as well.
I think he'll realize that at some point. He maybe was trying to make a statement like, we have this kid that's, badass and he can do it.
Just because Dion did that in the NFL, and he's probably one of the best defensive players ever.
Yeah,
doesn't mean you got to put this kid through it.
Right.
And the kid probably has the confidence of I can do both.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
He's 20 years old.
He's I can do this every game, no problem.
Yeah.
But they should figure out what he's better at, and then from there, maybe do the receiving a little bit or the defensive.
Just do a little bit of both.
A little bit.
I think it's an easy decision to try and be a receiver because that's the money making position. Mm-hmm. And if you're just don't have the hands for it or whatever, 11 catches, you can't have 11 catches without having some decent hands, right?
No.
But, yeah, I think this guy reminds me of. Do you remember Owen Maurice? I don't remember if we talked about this last night. Who used to play for Stanford? He was a fullback / linebacker.
We did.
Yeah. He reminded me of that. But that, like we said, that's a little different because it's more of like a physical position, but not as much running like you do as a corner and a receiver.
Like you said, linebacker can kind of play the zone.
Yeah.
They can kind of just float around a little bit. Corner,
you're shadowing.
If you're not on him, he's going for 50 down the other way.
Exactly. And then receiver running a route and not getting the ball every time too. That gasses you a little bit.
Well, we talked about this because I asked you if Richard Sherman had done that at Stanford.
No, I don't believe he did. I think Jim Harbaugh just kicked him to the defensive side because he was tired of him.
Speaking of the Pac-12, ironically, they are 13-0 after week 1.
We're going out with a bang, baby.
I love that for Pac-12. Love that.
They have some decent wins too, not just some cupcakes.
Yeah, wins over Florida, Boise State, TCU.
Yeah.
No cupcakes.
Yeah.
It's not like...
Well, there was some cupcakes, but they got some good wins.
Which I'm going to mention real quick. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So Oregon Ducks,
dude,
one of our favorite hated teams on this podcast. They played Portland State, and this is not a typo. They beat them 81-7.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I almost thought this was does the basketball team score 81 points in the game? It's ridiculous.
Probably not that often.
I can't tell you. 81. Shout out to Kobe Bryant, of course. I don't know if I've ever seen a score that's this bad in Division I.
Yeah, that's. I mean, are we sure that Portland State is even a Division I team? They might not be.
From this score, they're probably not.
Yeah.
But your dad made a good point again. That Portland State lost by this much, but they probably got $1 million towards.
Oh yeah, that's why they do this. It's a preseason game for Oregon. Yeah, it's a tune-up.
So for Portland State, silver lining, you probably got a good amount of money from this loss towards your program, which you can't really hate on.
Yeah.
They knew this going into it, that they were going to get smoked. Yeah. Maybe not this bad, but they knew.
The coach put on the board, like, just try and keep them under 60. Didn't even do that.
Yeah. Week 1 wraps up tonight. Number 9 Clemson at Duke. Probably not going to be a good game based off the rankings.
Clemson's only like, I say only. They're only like 12-point favorites, I think I saw. So
I'd probably take them. I'd probably take that 12.
Yeah. But, So I know we wanted to get the research on our records last year because we weren't able to pull that up last week, but here they are.
How'd you find them? Did you have them?
I have the document.
Okay.
Yeah. You went 16-15 last year, over 500.
Thank you.
Let's go, baby. I was terrible. 11-18-2.
Oh, you had 2 pushes?
Yeah, 2 times.
I remember that.
Honestly, based on how many picks we made all season between college and NFL, I'm surprised we didn't have more.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so you got me. You got me good.
Cool.
We're going to recap our week 1 picks. We both split. Gage, you got the cover on Washington over Boise State. They won big, 56-19.
LSU, on the other hand.
Not so much. That was a dud.
That was bad.
We turned that game on, and it was 17-14, and LSU was like kicking a tying field goal. Or no, Florida State was kicking a tying field goal.
17-17.
And they just took off and won 45-24.
So LSU fans, you can blame us because as soon as we turned the game on, the tide shifted for Florida State.
And I probably jinxed them by putting them in my Final Four. Or my college football.
Can I just say, and I mentioned this last night, Florida State, one of the cleanest unis out there. I think it's always been nice.
It's a good color scheme for sure.
It is a really good color scheme.
And it's like it looks like the early 2000s Niners with that burgundy.
I want to see them bring those back, just for like a game.
Yeah,
with like the Jeff Garcia years ones. You know what I'm talking about?
With the shadowed numbers. Yeah. My picks, I got the cover for Utah over Florida. They won 24-11, and then I lost my South Carolina pick against UNC. They lost by 14.
That's a good win for Florida, man.
Yeah.
For Utah against Florida.
Well, like I said last week, they were looking for revenge. They were at home this time, though, unlike last year. I believe they played at Florida, which was a pretty big early season matchup.
11 points. That's kind of funky, isn't it?
Yeah, they went for 2. And they scored like a garbage time touchdown and decided to go for 2.
I was going to say, was there a safety?
Yeah, right. Week 2 picks. Gage, you want to read yours off?
Yes, I'm picking, after the 81 performance from Oregon, I'm going to pick them minus 6.5 over Texas Tech. I'm picking number 19 Wisconsin against Washington State minus 6.5 again.
Pac-12 going to get their first loss.
Yeah, sorry.
Can't go undefeated.
And then my last one, I'm going for the home team, number 25 Iowa.
Let's go, baby.
Minus 4 against Iowa State. Sorry, Brock Purdy, had to do it to you.
Yeah. I do want to say that because I know I have Big Ten Network on Fubo, I'm gonna invest in Big Ten football this year.
There we go.
And definitely Iowa first, then Big Ten.
The bad thing about having Sunday, Mondays off, I can't watch the Saturday games. Yeah. It's a little bit of a bummer.
I'll fill you in.
I can listen to it on the radio a little bit because they'll have on the radio.
Yeah.
I can listen to some games. Sometimes it's like in Ohio. It's usually like Ohio State or Michigan, which is Big Ten.
Me and Garrett will just be in a text group with you, just lighting you up.
Oklahoma just lost to Texas again.
Whoa, those are fighting words.
Boomer. My picks are going to be, I'm taking number 4 Alabama minus 7 at home versus number 11 Texas. Mm-hmm. They had that scare from Texas last year. I think Nick Saban's going to take Texas real serious this season. Mm-hmm. He's going to try and win big against his old buddy Steve Sarkisian. I'm also taking number 22 Ole Miss on the road minus 7 against number 24 Tulane, the Green Wave. We're taking that.
I also want to mention Ole Miss because they also kicked ass this weekend.
They did,
and beat the Mercer Bears 73-7.
Yeah.
What's the funniest thing about this, and I talked to James about this, if Ole Miss would have played Oregon this week, they still would have lost by 8, and they scored 73 points.
Pretty wild. Also, Oklahoma put up 73 this week as well.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. My last pick is going to be Miami. I'm taking them plus the 4 points at home versus number 23 Texas A&M. A little upset at home. I'm going for.
Remember Manziel was there and they called it Texas ATM?
Yeah.
Money Manziel, baby.
Show me the money.
And that's our college football segment. That's a pretty good lineup of games this week.
Yeah.
We've got some ranked on ranked matchups.
Let me know how they are.
Some good spreads.